Welcome to Getting a Bigger Gob On, the podcast that helps women be seen, heard, and absolutely unforgettable so they can live a life they love. And I'm your hostess, Sharon Eden, the Wild Elder. And a special welcome to Ep.2 from Shy to Showtime with the always effervescent and definitely unforgettable Grace Fogarty. Grace is a pitch expert who empowers small business owners to deliver knockout pitches so they can attract more of the clients they love. And I think we can all do with attracting clients and people that we absolutely love. So welcome, Grace. I'm just so glad you said yes to me.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. It is honestly an absolute honor to be on your podcast. So thank you for having me.
Oh, bless you. And for everyone out there, Grace and I have known each other for quite some time, and she is an absolute star. I'll say no more. So, Grace, what would be your core message about getting seen, heard, and absolutely unforgettable? What would be your core message for our listeners?
I think anyone that wants to really be seen and heard and unforgettable in their life, it really comes down to two things that are really important. One is your mindset and working on really getting that to be totally confident and positive. And the second is using your body. How you move, how you hold yourself really has such a huge impact to how you show up and how people respond to you. And that's ultimately what being seen is all about. So your mindset and how you use your physical state, your body, for me, are the two biggest things that will help anybody to conquer that fear of becoming more visible.
That's great. And I know when we originally spoke that you told me, almost unbelievably for me, that you were once very, very shy. So I'd love to hear your journey. How did you get from shyness to being out there in all your glory?
Yeah, so when I was at school, I really, really, really hated having any attention on me. I hated putting my hand up in class. If I had to do a presentation, I would get really nervous. I'd often get really nervous giggles and kind of laugh my way through the presentation. I stopped doing drama before GCSE age. I think I was like 13. I stopped drama as soon as I had the opportunity to.
Why was that, Grace?
I really hated the feeling of people looking at me. I was worried that people might judge me. I was a bit bullied at school, it kind of
Yeah.
comes down to some of that. But I just found any of those opportunities, yeah, any moment where I might be being looked at would just I found them so exposing that it was really uncomfortable. And actually, even though when I was with my friends or when I was with really small groups of people, I loved, kind of performing or joking or, being quite a
Mm.
big personality. Like in front of my family, I used to do shows for my family all the time and do, dances and routines and things. But it was in that kind of public school setting, I just hated it, hated it, hated it, hated it. And that changed for me actually when I went to university. So I joined this charity that's run by students all over the world, and it really promotes kind of leadership skills. And there are a lot of young people in that organization because it promotes leadership. There's lots of opportunities to kind of stand up and give presentations and talk about what you're really passionate about and kind of spread the word of what the charity does. And suddenly I was in this environment where so many people, my age or maybe a few years older, were getting up in front of, hundreds of people. They'd have conferences and sometimes there would literally be like 500, 800 people. So I'd see people my kind of age standing up in front of these huge audiences and just speaking so passionately about something, being funny, being silly. And I just remember sitting in one of those conferences and looking at someone giving a speech. And I was so inspired. I was like, oh my God, like I want to be like that person. I want to be, I want to be able to do that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So, what exactly did you learn that helped you to do that?
I learned that being yourself is the best way to build a relationship with an audience because it was the people that were most relaxed, used humor, authentic, maybe they swore. Those were the people that everyone in the room loved, that got the biggest reception, that won the leadership roles. It was the people that were sort of unashamedly themselves that really thrived at the front of a room.
So, it's kind of getting over yourself in a way and just being you, quirky you, or you that mucks up sometimes, just being you.
Yeah, exactly, because it's human and it's real. Yeah, and that's what people like. I think there was also something, these people were really confident. I think the other thing that the people that stood out, they really I'm sure that they got nervous, but then when they held themselves, the way that they like communicated was really, really grounded and really confident. So it's not only was it about like being authentic, but it was really about finding a way to feel comfortable in those really intense, sometimes daunting situations, because it was the people that could just do it and look completely relaxed and really kind of back what they were saying that again, like, yeah, were really inspiring.
So, did you practice? Did you copy them?
Yeah, so actually I volunteered in the charity and I took on a role that involved running training workshops for volunteers every week and I did it for a year. And so I really like pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I was like, right, this is who I want to be like. I'm going to put myself in this situation. And that was my chance to really start practicing some of what I'd seen these amazing speakers do. And it helped me, I think, because I had to do it every week. It really helped me, if something went wrong or I made a mistake or I like fluffed up a slide or whatever, because I was doing it again next week, I'd just be like, okay, that didn't work. I'm going to do it differently next time. So I was constantly learning and trying out new things to feel more comfortable. And
Wonderful.
it was a really small environment as well. There was like 15 to 20 people. It was the same people I was presenting to every week. And that really helped. That kind of safe environment to start off with practicing really helped me to kind of find my feet.
So, that's a bonus tip. Find a safe environment where you can practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you can practice again and again and again and get used to failing because it is exposing, making yourself visible. But if you can get really comfortable with how it feels when it doesn't go so well, that will just help you enormously in other situations.
Yeah, it's kind of falling on your face and knowing what it feels like because it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. No, absolutely.
Wonderful, Grace. So tell me, well, we've actually talked about how women can build confidence to be seen, heard, and unforgettable in a way. You've given them getting the mindset and practicing and not being, not worrying about slipping on the banana skin. So, I, I wonder, when's the last time you screwed up
Oh my God,
briefly?
that is such a good question, and I have a really good answer for that actually. So now, I was very shy at school. Now fast forward to where I am now. I now um have done kind of acting training and comedy writing and script writing and things, and I'm now working on my own one-woman show.
Ah,
And I did a work in progress performance of it a couple of weeks ago. So it was the first time I was kind of delivering the show, and I learned the whole script. First time I was doing it in front of an audience, and I did so many things wrong. I forgot my lines about 5 times. My director had to be like, oh, it's the nachos scene. And I was like, Okay. I also one of the elements in the show, there's a cup hidden under someone in the audience's seat. And I forgot which seat it was under. I asked for the wrong person. But the in that moment I was able to really like actually turn that into a joke. And then that got a really big laugh because I was able to be silly and make a
Wonderful.
joke about getting it wrong. And forgetting the lines, in the moment, it is horrible. It is horrible when you're standing there and you're like, I've literally got no idea what I'm meant to be saying. But I just, it just doesn't matter because like people really don't remember that. No one came up to me afterwards and was like, oh my God, you didn't learn your lines properly. Or,
Yeah,
they don't notice. You've just got to, but you've got to, you can't flounder. That's the thing. You've just got to stay calm and know that, you've got it in you somewhere.
absolutely. It's kind of ad-libbing, isn't it? And not worrying,
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
worrying at
No,
all.
no, no.
So, what are your very special tips for our listeners about how to be seen, heard, and unforgettable? Or if you already are, how to create that shed loads more? What are your tips, Grace?
So I think the first one we've talked about, yeah. So the first one is, like I've said, really finding as many opportunities as you can to speak up. So in a work context, that could be volunteering to run a team meeting. If it's something even outside of work, it could be sharing an idea when you're with a group of friends at the dinner table, or, making a wild suggestion of what people might like to do. Find those small opportunities to share an idea, speak up with people to get the ball rolling. So that's kind of the first one. The next one, I've mentioned body language at the beginning. Really, and this is great for any situation that you're in, a really small thing that you can do to change your body language is to hold your head up high, roll your shoulders back, and stand with a really nice tall posture and take a deep breath in. No matter what situation you are going to go into, if you want to feel and be more seen and heard, just tweaking your posture like that has such a big effect, and that impacts the people around you. And finally, it can be really, if you're already really unforgettable and you want to channel more of that confident energy, I find it really helpful to think of someone that I find really inspirational who has buckets of confidence that I would love to have. So think of that person for you, have them clear in your mind, and ask yourself, what is it that they do that really inspires me? It's like what I was sharing at the beginning, what is it that they do? And then try out one technique that you can think of, or one thing that they do. It might be something they say, it might be the way they hold themselves, it might be a gesture that they use, it can be anything. But having that person in mind can just help to spark inspiration. So choose one thing they do and then have a go at putting that into practice yourself and just see how you feel and notice the difference in how people respond to you.
That's absolutely wonderful because what you're doing is embodying them. You're becoming them. That's great three tips, Grace. Thank you. And while you're on, is there any offer you'd like to promote to help our listeners?
Absolutely. So if anyone who listens is running their own business or they're freelance and they really want to work on their pitch, I've got a free guide that has ideas for 7 different ways to get really creative with the way that you pitch and promote your business. It's my free guide. It's called Fresh Pitch New Clients. But to be honest, even if you're in a relationship, sometimes you need to pitch to your partner. It could be business, could be outside of work. So that's my free guide. And also, I work one to one with people. Anyone who wants to really find their voice, to have the confidence to speak up in a work environment or through running a business, is someone that I can help. I have a one to one program called Step Up to Stand Out. And it's a really brilliant way for me to help someone to really dig deep and get that confident voice heard.
Yes, and I absolutely know because everyone out there, I have worked with Grace previously, not on the big program, that's to come yet, but she's made an absolute difference to how I feel and how I'm able to express when I'm speaking. So, where can clients find those offers?
Both of those are on my website. So you can head to presentwithgrace.com, and yeah, the guide you can download and you can read more about me, my background, and my program on there.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And how else can our listeners connect with you, Grace?
Absolutely connect with me on LinkedIn. My name's Grace Fogarty. And if you've listened to the podcast and you connect with me on LinkedIn, please drop me a message. I read all my messages. I reply to all of them. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm also on Instagram. You can follow present_with_Grace. And I'm on there too. So you can also drop me a message.
That is great. So I'm stumble bumming here a bit, Grace, because it's a lot to ask you to really kind of express everything in a very short time. But you know what, lovely? You you smashed it. You always do. And
Oh.
in the networking group we belong to, we have a standing joke. We ask new members whether they've been graced yet or not. So I'm so glad you could offer your experience and wisdom to our listeners. And everyone, I'd love you to subscribe to my Wild Elder Weekly for all my insider podcast information, also about Wild Women Meditate, which I haven't told you about, and shed loads more, including a no bullshit chapter for my Amazon #1 bestseller, Rediscovered. So sign up at thewildelder.com. And most of all, from Grace and me, thank you for listening. Let us know how you're doing with the tips and definitely get in touch with Grace. I'll respond to you straight away, but I'm not sure I'm quite as good as Grace on that. And watch out for the next exciting episode of Getting a Bigger Gob On.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.